Thanks for jumping in today. So last week I did an episode which kicked off. It was part 1, 9 powerful ways to get buy-in. I spoke to points 1 through to 5. So number 1 was pre-sell your idea. Number 2 was work in public. 3 was listen to the lyrics. 4 was to give your project a great name. And 5 was ditch the slides. So I'm going to share numbers 6 through to 9 on today's episode. Point number 6 is to use social proof. And I would say, actually, you want to create FOMO, the fear of missing out. One way you can do this, so social proof is really around, using other people's reputations. Instead of you talking about how great your idea is, like other people sharing how great it is. So you want to making that through testimonials. But one way of doing it in a business, a big business, is to actually pit teams off. I know that's not conventional, but if you say to the sales team, hey, the marketing team has already jumped in. That creates FOMO for the sales team. And just by showcasing early adopters, you make others eager to join as well. So you kind of want to get, I would say, an influential group. I think of the influential internal evangelists. There are internal influencers within your business. There's people within businesses that have a reputation. People will really listen to them. So ideally, if you can get one of them or that team on board, you'll find it very easy then to attract other people to buy into your concept. Target the influencers first and the teams that others want to follow. Okay, so be strategic around that. You don't have to target everyone in the same way. Try to build and really focus on that group first, because that will then make it a lot easier for you to drive that internally. Number 7 is to share a really bright vision and not a blueprint. So share a bright vision of a better future. And you don't need to share the entire roadmap, right? So you're still gathering feedback on this, but you want others to feel like they're part of building something together. I think often when change or projects can fail is when, yeah, sure, you're selling an idea, but then you're like, and this is exactly how we'll do it. And this probably links into the ditch the pitch. It's more like, hey, here's the vision, here's where we want to go, but here, how are the different ways that we can get there? And of course, you might have a dotted line roadmap of where that is, but I think it's very important to listen to people, take on board their feedback. And of course, if you're the ultimate decision maker, you need to decide, but definitely seek feedback on alternate routes, different ways of getting there, because that might actually be better than what you'd imagined yourself. Number 8 is to own the objection. I love this as an idea, and I use it a ton when I run workshops or even do speeches. This is really around addressing the risks and challenges up front. So you're the one that calls out the elephant in the room. And it requires a bit of bravery and courage, but it's so much better, because I think if you can anticipate what the risk is, what the elephant in the room is, and you state that up front, hey, we know, it's immediately disarming. It shows that you've paid attention, that you're aware. So when you call out the objections, you kind of disarm the group and you gain trust in the process. I did this really early on when I was, one of my first gigs when I worked for myself was flying to India, and I ran multi-day leadership programs for construction managers who they were managing multi-million-dollar projects. And I guess the objection I had was they're probably thinking, who the heck is this person from Brisbane that's going to teach me about leadership? And that's exactly what I opened up with when I was in Mumbai for the first session. I was you're probably thinking, blah, blah, blah. I addressed it. I immediately saw them disarm. And I'm you're the experts in construction. I have got some insights in terms of this global business and how it operates and how I can help you with managing your team. So I basically disarmed them straight away, because you got to put yourself in their shoes. What are they thinking? I'm using AI to help me out with this as well. When I'm writing my weekly newsletters, I'm what would the objections be here? So of course I try to anticipate them, but AI can be pretty good at knocking a point around. And what I'll try to do then is disarm that point or name it up front again. So that's the objections off the table, and then we can get into the business of reading it. And yeah, I just find it's a really great tactic. So don't hide behind the risks and the problems and the challenges. Just own them up front and be honest. Yeah, that's a really great way of building trust. Number 9 is to pattern interrupt. So important, because the current golden currency right now is attention. This is what all the social media platforms are really built on. Netflix's business model is their competitor. They compete with sleep. So their goal is just to keep your attention. We're so bombarded with information. So you got to try a different tactic, right? So while everyone is sending out emails, can you send a Loom video? Deliver a handwritten note? Pop in with a surprise team discussion. I don't know what that would look like, but just don't be afraid to stand out and interrupt the usual pattern. And this probably really links into number 4, which was give your project a great name, is like, you've just got to pattern interrupt and find a different way of presenting information or getting feedback as well. A very simple pattern interrupt I did in 2020. So I was doing this work with BHP, a coaching role, but because of the lockdowns, I wasn't able to fly to site where I needed to support the team. And so we did a lot of these like virtual calls. But one thing that was a pattern interrupt for them was just me showing up on the WebEx call with a podcast micro. That was a pattern interrupt. They're like, oh, this is not a normal coach. So even something as simple like that. And I actually caught up with someone that was part of that project recently. And she said to me, when you showed up with that microphone, I'm like, oh, this is someone different. So just little things like that can really create, can pattern interrupt. So it doesn't need to be something dramatic. The other thing I did with that project was I noticed it was really hard to get time with people. Like, it was calendar Tetris. And so I started sending the maintenance manager some voice notes because he's used to using a walkie-talkie on site. And so he would just voice note me back in his own time. When he was free, I would do the same. And by the time we met up, we were like besties. And we didn't need to jump on these calls, right? And be in a certain time at a certain place. So these are just like fun ways to get time with people and, use a pattern interrupt to do that. I hope this helps you out. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this or what you're trying to get buy-in on any projects. Like, you know where I am, so feel free to share your thoughts and I'll speak to you tomorrow.